Hey, what's going on, everyone? Isaiah Henry here, First Position Real Estate. I help government employees invest in real estate so they can build wealth and retire early. What's going on? Happy Tuesday. Sorry, I'm just coming off night, so I have no idea what day it is. We got Eric coming on today. That's my guy. It's been a big influence in me, especially growing my portfolio career, all that good stuff. So Eric's hopping on right here. So why don't we get him on and get this thing going? There he is. He should pop up in uno momento. Hey, there he is.
Hey man, what's going on?
What's going on, brother? How you doing?
Good yourself?
Good, man. I'm doing well. I'm doing well. You mind if I do a quick introduction, getting us started here?
Yeah, go ahead. Can you hear me good?
Yeah, man. I hear you great. You're good for me?
Yep.
Perfect, man. All right. So it's Isaiah Henry. Like I said, First Position Real Estate. I help government employees invest in real estate so they can build wealth and retire early. Today we have on the man, the myth, the legend, another Sudbury investor. We have Eric. Eric's been a huge influence in my career, like I've been saying, and he's been killing it up there in Sudbury. Eric, how are you doing this morning? What is it? Morning? I don't know. I'm on night. So how are you doing today?
Yeah, basically evening now. It's 5, so
Oh, okay, that's
I
good. Good to know.
I'm good, man. I'm good. It's actually my first live, so I'm actually happy I was able to do it with you. So
Awesome, man. Well, that's great, man. I'm super happy that you're joining. I feel like, as I get more and more guests on, like, the levels of people just come up. Like, I never thought I'd get, someone at your stage of real estate investing coming on and talking. So super excited to have you on. I have three questions for you, kind of typical format, kick back, relax, and we'll get started. Sounds good?
for sure, brother.
Awesome, man. So talk to me about buying off market. Realtor myself, I know about the MLS, I know about the ins and outs, but I also know that the real deals are made in those off market acquisitions. Tell me what you like, what are some challenges, and what are some benefits of off market leads or off market deals?
Yeah. So to start off, finding off-market deals, um, it's one of the best strategies to get creative with financing or even. But that the downside is it's a lot of work, right?
Yeah.
Um, there's a lot of different strategies you can do for finding deals. But at the end of the day, it's just being consistent. So in terms of what I like about off market is just being creative. For example, I was able to get 100% financing, or yeah, 100% financing on a fourplex, and I think almost 95% financing on a duplex. So I've had a couple vendor takebacks in the past, and um, just so many ways of getting creative, right? So that's why I like off market. And also, even in a hot market, you can take your time, right? So, like for example, the sixplex I closed on, I was able to put in like a pretty long conditional period. And versus if that was on market, I probably wouldn't have been able to have that long of a conditional period, right? So there's definitely some pros and cons, but off market's always been my favorite.
I love it. I love it, man. So in terms of, I've done some off market as well, nothing to the level 100%, 95% financing there. So you mentioned longer conditional periods as well as maybe a slower pace. Do you mind just digging down into that a little bit? Why do you feel that's so good at when you're acquiring properties this way?
Yeah, so having like a conditional period is like for me anyways, it's important for any investor. You want to make sure that you're buying good assets. So you want to make sure the property has a good structure, good foundation, good location. You want to review the expenses of the property, and you actually sometimes you want to figure out what your plans are going to be for that property. Um, like you can lock up a good deal, and you could have multiple strategies. So having that time to really look over at your different options is key. So that's what I prefer, having that longer conditional period. Like right now, probably anywhere between 10 to 20 days conditional. It's definitely doable.
100%. And I feel very similarly on that. Like a lot of the deals that I'm looking at now, like I remember like, when COVID and everything was going crazy, you try and put in like a 5 day conditional period and people would be like, absolutely not. And for me, I was like, that's kind of crazy. Like, we're investing a lot of money, we're putting this into an asset, you don't even let me do some due diligence. But now like I think my minimum, like the clauses I send out, just like I usually have standard clauses that I stand out for offers. It's, 12 business days conditional because that gives me 2 full weeks plus 2 days of buffer. And then, if there's any negotiation back and forth, that conditional period just keeps growing for me. So I'm glad there's other people, especially like yourself, still seeing the importance of that longer conditional period there.
Yeah, and adding that business day is key because like it makes it sound so much better to the seller when you say, "Oh, it's just 7 business days," but in reality, when you count in the weekend, Saturday, Sunday, you're actually getting like 2 extra days, right? So make sure
Yes,
you add
and
business days in there.
100%. Look at that quick tip from Eric right there. That's key. That really is key. I've been burned. Well, not burned, but like, maybe just like, when I was starting, you just put the days there and then talking to my lawyer and he's like, okay, like, just so you know, this is 5 days. So it's actually here. He's like, I know you meant business days, but you got to be, proper with your language here, which I think, talks to your experience and, the people on your team. At least I have a lawyer who's able to point that out. And then me going forward, I just know that now. So that's good there. But moving on to our second question, you touched on it briefly. Let's talk about that sixplex. Congratulations, by the way. That's
Thank you,
no
sir.
small feat locking that up. I remember when you first put it out there and I just saw the building, I was like, damn, that's what everyone's looking for. Purpose-built sixplex. It's all brick. Like, it's like, that's what you're looking for. But talk to me about the due diligence there. Obviously, you didn't just see it sight unseen, say, yeah, I'll take that one. What did the due diligence process look like on that property?
For that one, I was able to get I think it was 15 or 20 days conditional.
Yeah,
So I had like quite a bit of and business days. So so I had like 2, 3 weeks there to actually go over the property, figure out what I wanted to do with the property, and like step by step, really like you want to walk through with an inspector, a good inspector or a good contractor.
yeah,
Now this type of property like maybe your home inspector might not be the best idea. I mean, it could be if he knows what to look for. It's very similar to buying a duplex or a triplex. It's just bigger, right, and more
yeah.
things to look for. So I walked through with my contractor, and everything panned out. And then from there, I figured out, okay, what do I want to do with this? Do I want to wholesale it? Do I want to keep it? Maybe get a partner on it.
Yeah.
And actually, my coaches, shout out to Michael Watch, uh, he was actually he convinced me to actually buy it for myself. At first, I was going to do just make a quick penny out of it and wholesale it. But then, like the long term wealth play, just the ROI I'm going to get on that is just so much better than just wholesaling it, right?
Yeah.
So I actually sold a few properties to fund that sixplex, and yeah, so it worked out good.
That's awesome. That's awesome there. Now you mentioned something between a contractor and a home inspector. So obviously it's a sixplex, so we're now getting into that commercial territory and a little bit bigger buildings, especially a purpose built. Why did you choose like to go in through your contractor than like a traditional single family home inspector?
It was just I already have a good relationship with this contractor, um, and it was just more convenient that way. Honestly, like I know him, I trust him. He's done some renovations for me. He's a knowledgeable guy, so it was just a no brainer for me to just hit him up and walk through it quickly. And that way too, if I did want to renovate some of the units, I could also get an idea on what the cost would be, right?
Yeah.
So it's kind of a double whammy.
I like it. I like it there. I'm kind of leaning that way as well. Again, this is nothing against home inspectors. Y'all are very important. But you go through the home inspector, like they only see stuff, like they're not peeling back walls. But when you're walking through with a contractor, they're saying, well, a contractor is like, they're going to do the work. So they're going to look and they're like, okay, what is this actually going to cost? Like, they're peeking behind stuff. They're opening it up. They're taking measurements and getting you, in my opinion, a more tactical idea of what it actually looks like, where a home inspector will kind of give you a high overview, like, hey, the roof's in good condition. Versus I sent my guy in the roof with a ladder. He's like, yeah, we got to do this roof today, and it will cost this much. And I feel that information's a little bit better to your whole investing strategy. What are your thoughts there?
Yeah, exactly. If you already have a good relationship with a contractor, um, I would like either or. They're both good options. But if I was starting out, maybe I would get a home inspection if I didn't know anyone, because sometimes actually the financial institutions will actually require an inspection report. So depending on the lender, you might have to get one regardless.
Yeah.
On in my case, I didn't have to, but yeah, it pros and cons for both options, right?
Yeah, no, that makes total sense there. I like that, there's other options. Yeah, I feel like some people just get that into the box. They're like, I have to use this lender, I have to do a home inspection here, and then I have to close traditional. But, just this conversation just kind of blows that out of the water. There's so many other options you can take with real estate, whether you're looking at, single family or going into bigger stuff like you're doing there. So that's awesome. Let me move to my last question here. So a lot of people, especially like myself, like I invest far. I don't think I've been able to drive to one of my properties for a while. But you have the luxury of actually investing pretty close to home. Like most of your stuff's within like, half-hour drive of you, correct?
Yeah, like 15 minutes probably.
Oh my gosh, I love that. So that's good. And a lot of people are like, oh, that's perfect. That's just what I want. But I'm sure you have your own challenges with it being so close. Would you mind kind of opening up, telling me a little bit those challenges about being so close to your investments?
Yeah, definitely. Um, so the biggest problem is when I get a call from a tenant or for the properties that I don't manage or that I self manage. Sometimes I tend to do things myself.
Mm.
Um, and it could be obviously you want to look at your return on time, right? What's your time worth? Like for me, finding other deals and raising money and all that stuff is more valuable to me than to go and change I don't know, a faucet or change something small, right? Um, that was me like a few years ago. Now I'm actually pretty good at that. I have a few contacts on my phone, so whenever something comes up, I just give them a call, text, hey, like, can you go fix this and that? And I try to delegate a lot more now. But I would say the con of living close to your properties is sometimes you tend to do things yourself when your best use of your time could be focused elsewhere.
Exactly. I feel that's like, on the flip side, me being so far, like I am forced to do a lot of business from my phone or from this desk, right? So that's making relationships on the phone, doing creative things to kind of build those relationships. Because, I've been that guy on the phone calling 5 contractors and 0 of them call me back. But then you kind of get, creative. Like how can, you make those relationships if you're actually not being able to shake that person's hand in person. But then on the flip side, you're seeing like, it's right there. Let me just go, redo
Especially
that
for the
doorknob
small
quick.
jobs, right?
Yeah,
You're trying to find that contractor who does like the small jobs, and some of them like the minimum fee is like $100.
just to
So
get him there.
sometimes it's just like, oh, whatever, I'll do it myself.
Yeah,
But I found some people that are willing to do the smaller jobs at better rates.
yeah,
But I think that's key is just finding a handyman or somebody that is okay with just dropping in and doing a quick 5-10 minute job and not charging you an arm and a leg, right?
there you go. Now with that same person, how do you treat them?
Sorry.
Like, that's that handyman or that guy doing a small job. How do you treat them in order for you to like maintain that relationship?
Like gold. Like
Exactly.
you want to pay them like ASAP. Like as soon as they send you the invoice or as soon as the job is done, like you want to pay them like that's the biggest thing, especially with contractors as well. Um, as soon as they get the invoice, I send the money right away. I don't
Yeah.
question it. And they love it. Like they say, Eric, I want to work with you. Like give me more work and I'll work just for you. Like,
I know, right?
so
And you're almost like, I need more work to like keep these guys happy, right? So
yeah,
it's
exactly. So now
crazy.
I'm like, all right, well, let me find more deals. Let me, but yeah, just paying them on time and keeping the good relationship because good handyman and good contractors are hard to come by these days, and a lot of them are busy. So you want to have those good relationships for sure.
100%, man. That's so important. And I feel like you're doing it super well, like being close to them, and I've definitely taken some of your strategies that you've used to kind of maintain those relationships far away. So I commend you for all that. Those are the 3 questions I have for you today, Eric. Did you have anything you want to run by me today?
No, but I'm just saying I might have to move out of town so that I can be more offhand.
Just move away just so you can, get the team out there. That's funny.
Exactly. Yeah,
That's hey, well, if you're coming to Durham, come holler at your boy. We'd be more than happy to have you down here if you ever make it down here, though.
for
But
sure.
anyway, I will wrap this up for us. Man, I had a super good time. So, guys, it's Isaiah Henry. We had Eric on today. Real estate investor out of Sudbury and the surrounding areas. He's growing at a rapid rate. He's doing a lot of off-market deals. We have him all over Sudbury, as well as his relationships and building teams. Eric, where can people find out more about you if they want to learn about your business, your deals, and maybe even work with you in the future?
Yeah, I'm mostly more active on Instagram, so just shoot me a DM, Facebook too. So just message me on there, and I'll get back to you
Okay, sounds good. I'm not gonna lie, guys. That's exactly how I got in touch with Eric the first time. I sent him that first DM, and
straight
he
to
was like,
DMs.
Right? The DMs, man. It all goes down to the DMs. But he was super helpful, super open. So I definitely recommend you guys reach out to him. So just summing up, everyone, it's Isaiah Henry, First Position Real Estate. Eric is down below. Eric, thanks so much for joining us today. And we will have you back in a couple months for sure. We'll have to have you
Definitely.
back.
Thanks, man.
All right,
Take
no
care.
problem. Have a good day, man. Cheers.
Cheers.